All right, guys, customer called, wanted a 50 amp receptacle mounted to the outside for his generator. Here we have about 25 feet of 6 gauge Romex. The receptacle is 50 amps, so we went up to 6 gauge. Actually, it didn't need 50 amps, it needed 42 and a half technically, but you had to go 50 amps in this case. It was higher than 40, so you step it up. Here is the receptacle. This is a twist lock. There you see 50 amps is what the plug requires, or calls for, sorry. We're going to be coming straight into the back of this. This is UL listed. You want to make sure you're getting good quality stuff. There's the hole in the back side. Here we're just punching our hole to the outside. These freaking DeWalt's, man. Nah, but the battery was almost dead in this one. It was right there, so we decided just to use it. We just got through. Now we're going to go to the outside, and we're just reaming this out a little bit bigger. One thing you'll notice is when you go to put your connectors on these receptacle boxes, the hole you reamed, yes, it fits the wire, but it does not fit the connector. So to make this flush, you got to ream it out. This happens all the time, and it's a pain sometimes, but it's got to be done, man. You want that receptacle looking nice and flush on the customer's home or your own home, so take the time to do it. We're just going to punch out the hole in the back. Make sure you don't go too big. You want to make sure you're punching out exactly what you need for the whole size of that connector. If you go too big, you're going to have trouble, and you're going to have to get some washers to fill back that extra space you just created yourself. Connector can't go through the hole, you know what I mean? You want to make sure your washers are secure. And there's the hole. Easy as that. Make sure that our receptacle is on the wood and it's not below towards the soffit. So we're just taking a second here, making sure everything mounts up nice. Run our wire through to get the perfect fit. And we are looking good. We are not below where we want to be. We are right up on that wood. And that's exactly what we were looking for. I did notice here, obviously, the connector was much bigger. So I went ahead and took it upon myself to take some more wood off. Obviously, this wood's going to be, the hole, is going to be covered by the receptacle box. So there's no need to worry about that. But you definitely want to get that connector to sit inside of the wall, the siding, I should say. You need that box to be flush. Okay, so now we have it posted up. We're fixing to get this mounted. Now, when a customer pays to have this stuff done, you really, really want to make sure you got this plumb and level. No one wants to come out and see a half-cocked anything. It could be a receptacle, a switch, who knows, panel itself. You would just want to do nice work. So take the extra step, plumb it, trust me. If buddies come over and they see it and they're into the trades or whoever, man, it's noticeable, and it's not what you want. You want everything to be perfect. You're already taking the time to do this on your own. Make sure it looks good. And there comes the level. You get one screw in it, start it, hold it up, throw a level on that. I love a nice magnet level. Sticks right to it. You don't have to sit there and hold it, and you can keep screwing and watching your level on that. I think I'm looking pretty satisfied at this point. Oh, maybe not. We're going back in. It was cold out on this day, I tell you. Cold, cold, cold up here in the northeast. And it looks like the receptacle ground decided to slip out, so that fell in the snow. But we're still looking for that perfect level. Just a couple taps to get it even. Double check. One more. And we're golden. So now we are trying to make some room for the neutral and ground. The customer pretty much had his entire neutral bar filled on the right side. So we took it upon ourselves to share some grounds, because you can have 2 grounds under one terminal screw. You cannot share grounds and neutrals, but you can share 2 grounds per terminal screw. So we're going ahead and separating these. I just want to show you guys, you have your neutral that we're about to land here. We're just molding it, getting it to the perfect fit. And you have a ground and 2 hots. Your hots are carrying 120 volts per wire. So 240 in total is this case. A double pole breaker is what they call that. Just getting this measured up. The panel is hot here. You should not have to do this with your panel hot at all. Keep in mind, your 2 main wires at the top, your main disconnect will always be hot unless you have a disconnect outside, and that is turned off, or your electrical company comes and disconnects for you. But in this instance, I don't foresee that happening. That's usually when you have a big service disconnect needed for a new panel, new service wire, or you're adding a disconnect outside. Just go ahead and strip that. When you're stripping these, you want to make sure that you're not biting through the copper. You want to just lightly kind of twist back and forth on these. Keep your tools out of the panel at all times unless you're obviously using them, such as a screwdriver. But do not let those slip. Be very, very careful. Always know what you're doing, where your hands are. Get that puppy in there. And it's landed. It's nice and tight, snug, nothing crazy. There's your ground, there's your black and red. Your 2 hots are your black and red. When you buy a new breaker, turn it off before you insert it into the panel. It is stuck in the trip position, but it is much easier to put it in the on position on accident. So when you put your hots in, you want to make sure they're tight, but not too tight to where you're stripping out the screws or breaking the breaker, physically cracking it, whatever. Definitely make sure they're tight though, guys. You do not want these to just pop out. It can cause surges in your appliance or whatever, Nice strip right there. Get this all seated into where we semi want it. Once we get it landed, we'll kind of adjust it more. Insert it. I'll put a nice little bend in it to make it a little easier on myself. And these wires, you kind of mess with them a little bit. I did leave a lot of slack for this guy. His panel is full, and maybe he wanted to move it. So I didn't want to just give him a perfect fit to where he's stuck in that spot for his 50 amps. Just in case, I don't know. People do things different. I usually install my heavier breakers, the bigger breakers up top, but his panel was already labeled and I didn't want to reposition anything on him.